Hey guys, welcome to Bondi Bhel, the episode 6. And today we have this fantastic uh, host, one actress called Ruchika Dawa, whom I have known for a while, and we have officially worked together, and she's amazing. Hi, Ruchika.
Hi, Ravi. Thank you for inviting me, and hi to everyone out there at Bondi Bhel.
So, welcome to our show. It's going to be a lot
Thank
of
you.
fun. You are an amazing host. I've seen your shows, and so yeah, let's get the show started. Tell me, have you been to Australia?
Uh, Honestly, when you ask me this question, Ravi, it brings up a lot of painful memories,
Oh, yeah,
and
really?
I'll tell you why.
uh,
Because normally February, March is that time of the year every year when I used to plan my sort of annual big vacation. Because of the kind of profession that I am in, there's anyway a whole lot of traveling that's involved, and I would keep on traveling throughout the year. But
yeah,
there used to be one big vacation that I used to take each year to
yeah.
just, away from the work, disconnect, go out with my friends and everything. And 2020 February, we were in the middle of planning a vacation to Australia and New Zealand, and we
Okay.
were working very hard towards it. So we were in touch with tour managers, we were making itineraries for taking a cruise up to Auckland, and the entire planning was on. And then March 2020 end, the lockdown happened, COVID stuck, and after that Australia has just been a dream that I've not been able to touch.
Okay, that's an
So I
interesting
feel low.
story.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, so this is a good sign that you are part of a show which is an Australian Indian show. So that is a good sign, and I'm sure after this show you're going to be famous in Australia, and you will
Hopefully.
be welcomed. Where were you born in and grew up in India?
So I was born in Jalandhar, which is a city in Punjab, and I'm a Punjabi by origin. But that was during my birth and during the time that I was conceived, when my mom was carrying me. That was the only time when, briefly, for a period of an year and a half, my parents were in Jalandhar. Basically, I've been a Delhiite all my life. My parents, everyone settled in Delhi and born and brought up, except for the born part, everything in Delhi. So I'm a Delhiite.
Yeah, and tell me, when did Goa happen and why?
Goa happened almost 15 years back, and actually, it's a very interesting story. So I'm married, and I got married pretty young. I mean, I was just out of school, and I my husband was always of the mood that he wanted to move out of Delhi. And even when I was going around with him, he told me that I can get married. Of course, we can get married, but you will have to get used to the idea that sooner or later we will quit Delhi, because I don't like being in Delhi. And he used to, always say that you always used to think in terms of quality of life, which he felt that Delhi wasn't offering. Add to that, being in a joint Punjabi family, somehow he just wanted to get away from it all and be in his own space and everything. So at that point of time, when you're like 17, 18, and you're like really young and you're in love, then you're like, you know what, let's just get married and then we'll decide, no problem. What you say is okay. And I was like, okay, so we'll move, no problem. Got married, joined a college, continued my education. But sooner or later, this issue would constantly crop up that we need to move out of Delhi and we need to, settle somewhere else. Now, on his radar were places like Manali and all. But then I told him that if you're looking for a good quality of life, at least somebody like me who wants to have a career can't do anything in Manali. So why don't you look at other places which have connectivity? Goa was one of the destinations that was on the radar, and we used to come here for holidays. And the Goa airport was expanding, and there were a lot of potentialities here in terms of staying connected. And that's how we zeroed in on Goa and we moved in here. It's been close to 15 years.
Take us through the anchoring scene in India and the changes you have seen.
Okay. So again, as I told you earlier, I started by chance. I started by default. It was not something that I was working towards, but as I started anchoring, I realized that probably this is something that I was made for, because each time I hosted a show, I walked out of the event. I walked off the stage to some very good applause and very good feedback. But at the same time, over a period of time, I met a lot of people who would keep on asking me that, okay, you are anchoring, but what else are you planning to do? Because, as you said, in India, if it's a performing art, whether you're a singer, whether you're an anchor, whether if you are an artist of any kind, it's something like आपने गाने वालों के बारे में सुना होगा that this guy goes to a girl's house that he's been going out with to ask for her hand in the marriage, and the bride to be's father asks आप क्या करते हैं, and he says मैं गाना गाता हूँ. He said वो तो ठीक है पर आप काम क्या करते हैं?
Yeah. Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
this disconnect between performing art as a career and performing art as a time pass plan B.
Now, talking about your anchoring, tell us about your best, moments in anchoring in India or abroad.
Okay, so I'd like to start with India first. I've hosted at any major Indian event destination that you can think of, and I've hosted an event there. And this one is something which is very, very historic for the reason that it didn't turn out anything like we were planning for it. We were in Puri, which is in Odisha, and it was a huge R&R event. And there was a cyclone warning in Odisha, and I don't know, but the show was planned and the cyclone warning was sort of given 48 hours before it arrived. And by that time, a lot of plans had been firmed up, air tickets had been booked. So people were pretty much on their way that we have this event in Puri and we are going. The event was attended by almost 1,200 people at a beachside property around 3:30 in the afternoon. So I was in the resort and I'm looking down at the venue where the stage and everything is being set up. The event manager calls me and tells me that Ruchika, come down, do your sound checks and everything. I go down 4 o'clock. I do my sound checks, and after that, I go back to my room, sit for makeup and hair and everything to get ready for the event. Uh, 6:37, I'm back at the venue. We are all set. Event starts, and with the welcome note, the opening PPT, welcoming the achievers and everything is going exactly as per the timeline. And then we have the chief guest address, and the chief guest is the APAC, the Asia Pacific head of the company that I was hosting for. He was the biggest personality of the evening. He steps up on the stage, everyone gives him a resounding applause, and he starts. As he starts to talk, I am standing on the side, on the podium, looking at him, looking at the audience, listening to what's happening, and suddenly I feel as if the LED at the back has started to shiver and tremble.
Sure. Okay.
And within the next 1 minute, before we could realize what was happening, suddenly the bass bins, the flying speakers on the truss and everything started to shake violently, and suddenly everything started to fall. People stepped back, we all stepped, we ran from the stage, and then the screen also came crashing down. So apparently, it seems that the event managers, while they were aware of the cyclone, they were not aware of the direction from which it would approach, and we were directly on the way of the cyclone as it made landfall.
Okay.
And suddenly, there were over 1,000 people with families, and they were running helter skelter. From there on, I did something which I have never done in my life and which I hope I never would do. I did a whole lot of crowd control with my announcements. I was telling them, please don't panic, go there, go there, go there, and everything. But
Yeah.
the APAC head of the company was so focused. And that's why they say that you are known by your leader. A pack is
Yeah.
known by their leader. This man said that cyclone or no cyclone, these people are achievers. They need to be celebrated, and they have come here all the way with their families for this moment to receive a trophy from my hand and get that photograph done. And we will get it done. This man stood on the ground as the cyclone passed. We waited. The show was interrupted for almost 1.5 hours. We waited. We told people to have dinner at that point of time, but not leave the venue or go to their rooms. 1.5 hours later, we started again with no stage, no backdrop, nothing. Just me standing next to the APAC head and the company directors, and some lights that had been set up on stands. And this guy gave a trophy and a certificate to each one of the achievers and got a picture
Wow.
click with them.
Wow. That's it. That's leadership
That's
for you.
leadership, and that's how you
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
That's how you learn.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Wonderful. What a great experience,
yes,
huh?
it was.
Yeah.
Um, Abroad, I've traveled to almost 20 countries doing destination weddings, hosting corporate shows, award nights, dealer activations, you name it, and I've done it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And while each one of the shows outside of India has gone spectacularly well, each one of them is special to me because when I visit that country, I visit that country as a part of the team. I also do the sightseeing and everything, so it's great fun. But one event that's really close to my heart is the one an R&R that R&R is rewards and recognitions that I
Yeah.
did at the Venetian Macau, because
Yeah.
it was one of my biggest events, almost 1,500 people attending. They were qualifiers of a financial products company in India, and huge property, huge crowd. We had a star packed, list of performers, and it was a spectacular show.
Hmm.
So probably one of the best, and I came back like really stoked and really pumped about it. तो
Oh,
ठीक है,
nice.
बहुत opportunities मिली और बहुत अच्छे अच्छे events
Very
करने को
good.
मिले.
We talked a lot about your professional. Let's get to know you a little bit, your personal side, which is when you get time. Okay, you're so busy, hardly any time. But when you get time, do you have any hobbies? How do you spend time with your family in from a
Okay,
busy
so
schedule?
mostly I love cooking. I find it very therapeutic. I like to try new things, and I like to keep on investing in my kitchen in the sense that I keep on trying new gadgets. I keep on trying new recipes and new methods of cooking. So of course, and it's a great way to share with family as well, because whatever you make, you try and feed it to them somehow, especially if whether it turns out good or bad, you try and sell
Eh,
it to them. So
Absolutely.
yeah, but you know. We were just talking about lockdown a while back, but I'll tell you this lockdown gave me a great opportunity to explore arts that I wanted to learn, but I never had the time earlier.
Yeah.
I'm basically very creatively and artistically inclined. So there's a whole lot of stuff that I like to do in free time, apart from Netflix and chill,
Yeah.
which is something I
Yeah.
like to do once in a while. I like to, in my off time, I like to enjoy a good drink. So I like to sit with a drink in front of TV and just enjoy it, go out with some friends. But mostly I like to create.
Ah, okay, that's good.
So
That's really
learn
good.
something or the other, pottery,
Uh,
woodworking. I keep on learning.
Now, your political views are very strong. Okay, and the state where we live in, your political view are totally opposite to the ruling government. Does it affect your work at all?
Uh, Two things.
Yeah.
So far, no, it's not affected my work for the simple reason that as an artist, I keep my political opinion in my personal space. So I have done countless events where, whether it is now or whether it was the previous ruling dispensation, those people have been on stage. I've gone and done my job professionally because that's what professionals do, right? So my job is to host an event. My job is to host it to the best of my capability and get out of there. And that is what I do. My political views are largely restricted to my personal space, but this is something I keep on telling a lot of people. Like, for example, you and me, we became Facebook friends a couple of years back, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right now, you were not there in my circle when UPA was in power. I was equally critical of the ruling dispensation at that time.
Mm.
I'm somebody who just stands for what's right.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm an artist just gives me more empathy. And that is why, due to that enhanced empathy, I can't stop myself when I talk.
So tell me what, since you anchoring is, one of your main profession, is there any legacy you want to leave behind in anchoring scene in India?
Totally,
Yeah.
totally. Uh, you have mentioned that you were covering one of the Marwadi weddings as a
Yeah.
wedding photographer,
Yeah.
where I was hosting the संगीत. लेकिन उसको कुछ समय हो गया तो मुझे नहीं मालूम है कि आपको मेरी परफॉर्मेंस कितनी याद है. लेकिन I am somebody who is known as a stand-up comic come anchor in the sense that I don't stand there and I don't mimic Hema Malini. But what I do is that I engage with the audience, I talk to them, and the banter that I do with the audience results in a lot of comedy. And I'm more of what you would call a tease. You know, when I
Yeah.
enter, the way I start, the way I make eye contact, there is a certain act that I put on. And I am somebody who is pretty much in a niche of her own. And that is precisely the reason why I may not have a lot of videos to show you, but I have a lot of people who come back to me again and again, asking me to host their shows again and again. And this is the reason. My legacy is to give people as an anchor a show that they will remember and they will understand and appreciate the role of an anchor, which is something which is misunderstood in India.
Yeah.
And a lot of time people call me and they say कि ये event होने वाला है और ये बोलना है और आपको आप बोल लेंगी. I tell them that if you are giving me a written script and you are telling me to just read out those lines, then you don't need me.
Yeah.
You just need an announcer.
Yeah.
आप किसी रेलवे प्लेटफॉर्म वाली को ले आइए कि प्लेटफॉर्म नंबर 2 की गाड़ी अब प्लेटफॉर्म नंबर 4 पे आएगी.
Yeah.
यात्रियों से निवेदन है कि उधर पहुंचे. आप
Yeah.
किसी को एयरपोर्ट से ले आइए. यू नो, गो एयर अनाउंसेस द डिपार्चर ऑफ इट्स चेन्नई फ्लाइट.
Yeah.
If you want to really experience the magic of what an anchor can bring to your event, then you need me.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
And an anchor, you might have the choicest pearls in your basket. If you don't have the thread in form of a good anchor, that necklace is going to fall.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
as simple as that.
Amazing. All right. So we're going to move to now the rapid fire, the round. Okay.
Hmm.
As I said, it's just no, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just, uh, kind of one word answers.
Okay.
All right. Okay. You good to go?
Good to go.
Yeah.
Yes, I can do it.
And one thing I want to tell you officially is
Sorry.
there is no gift hamper after this round. Sorry about that.
Okay. I
All
live
right.
with that.
Favorite movie?
There are so many. You just want to know one.
One. Yes.
Ah, oh God, just one.
So
Uh,
sometimes the easiest questions, just
no,
get
because
you
I've never
stuck.
thought about it. Like I've always thought about like my top 10 movies. I'm so
Uh,
involved in movies
okay,
that I've
top 10
always
में top 10 में top movie.
favorite uh, Makbul,
Okay.
Irfan
F-
Khan and Tabu.
Favorite city?
Honestly, I live in Goa. I won't say Goa because do you want to know like favorite city? If I say Goa, it makes no sense, right? Does
Yeah,
it
yeah.
make sense?
No, as I said,
Uh,
there's no right or wrong answer. Any answer
no,
is
so
fine.
honestly, favorite city Mysore
Okay.
for a lot
Fa-
of reasons.
yeah. Favorite actor?
Irfan.
Mine too. Favorite actress?
Again, quite a few, but honestly,
Could be Indian, it could be
yes. So
from
that's what.
anywhere. Yeah.
So there is a woman called Tara G.P. Henson who
Okay.
does movies in the West, and she does a lot of uh, uh, television there. I just like her. There's something about her that's very strong.
I'll find that out.
Yes.
Dead person you want to meet?
Uh, Dead person I want to meet. Can I go like really back in the history?
Anytime you can go back to.
Uh,
The,
Tutankhamun, the Egyptian pharaoh.
okay. Wow.
I'm very, very impacted and very much into the ancient Egypt history.
What do you want to be born as in the next life?
Uh, in the next life, if the world continues the way it is continuing, maybe uh, maybe like a really prized poodle breed. Just have some fun,
Wow.
chill back.
Nice one.
My yeah. So like somebody like Paris Hilton, like
Yeah.
a Chihuahua putting me in her bag and going around. I mean, royal life, bina pressure ke.
And one last question, rapid fire में. One word advice to future anchors.
Never say a one word advice.
चलो एक सेंटेंस एडवाइस कर दो.
हाँ हाँ हाँ. Never say no to any work that comes your way, irrespective of whether it is big or small. Whether your takeaway monetary is big or not, you always end up learning something from every event that you do.
Perfect. And that's the end of our rapid round. And that's the end of our interview. Thank you so much, Ruchika, for being such a lovely guest on our show. And yeah, it was so much fun. And I got to know you a little bit more today. And I'm sure our guests also will be very happy to know you. So thank
Well,
you so much for coming on Bondi Bale.
thank you
And
so much.
see you again soon. And don't
See you
forget
again
that
soon.
dinner invite.
See you again soon. Hopefully, see you in person very soon.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
a big thank you for giving me this window into Bondi Bhel. And hopefully, I get to visit Australia before this year ends.
Absolutely. Inshallah, you will.